about we're going to start this year in a little bit different way? How about we just going to promise ourselves that you will do this year, this one thing that you've been dreaming about for a long time, that even though you're going to think, I want you to think about you, even though I'm scared, I'm going to do this year. Even though I'm not there yet, I will be able to go towards their dream. I will not be scared or afraid of the unknown because I don't know the unknown. So what is there to be afraid of? Welcome to a new episode of the Eva Eckert podcast. Get down and dirty, guys. It's 2024. If you want to know exactly what do I mean by get down and dirty and finally change your life, change yourself in 2024, make sure you're gonna watch this episode and stay tuned here today. So for those of you who are here for the first time, I am Eva Eckert. I am a Polish immigrant with a big heart, strong accent, as you can hear, a kick-ass husband, and 2 beautiful kids. I inspire women around the world to take bold action towards their dreams, passions, and desires, so finally their life become more meaningful and fulfilled. I believe that the badass superhero of your unique purpose is inside all of you, all of us, and we should share it with the world to make the world a better place. This show will help you finally discover the power of self-belief and self-motivation so you can stop making the excuses and create the life you truly desire and deserve by being the best upgraded version of you. And let's not forget about the power of gratitude. Each time we start the episode, I would talk about the gratitude, exactly what I'm grateful for. But guys, I write this down every single day in my journal. I dive deep and think about all the moments from the previous day that I'm grateful for. So today, if you are here for the first time, make sure that you're writing the gratitude. It will help you appreciate the life more. It will help you see the otherwise not seen. And, you know, the episode, sometimes I get these questions from people like, how do you come up with the content? How do you come up with the ideas of your show? This is real life situations. The things that I go through, the things that my clients go through, it's just life. These life bring you lessons and sometimes the questions. You just go through life, and when you think about it, this is the content. You guys asking questions. You guys sent the questions to me. I get notification or information in my Instagram sending me. Somebody just recently was sending me a message as well and asking me that question, like maybe you should talk about this in your podcast. So here I am having this great idea about giving you some tips on literally changing the course of 2024 for you. And again, this is based on coaching, and this is not just a recent coaching. This is years of coaching and observing people, observing even my friends, observing people that I know that they have potential, but they're not going for it. And the reason for a lot of times we're not going for something is because it's the fear. The fear is stopping you from going forward, right? Because you're not there yet, you start putting all these obstacles and your imagination gets so big that instead of seeing this in a colors in the beautiful future, you start seeing darkness and all these obstacles and all these problems, what ifs. It will pop in your head. And before you even start thinking positively, all the negative flow of ideas comes into you and it blocks your world. So instead of being in a beautiful, colorful world, you ended up being in some freaking horror movie in your own head, right? Like, think about it. How many times you wanted to do something, you wanted to start something, and before you even started, the subconscious clicks in, has the way of just talking to you and convincing you of not doing something. So how about we're going to start this year in a little bit different way? How about we're just going to promise ourselves that you will do this year. This one thing that you've been dreaming about for a long time. That even though you're going to think, I want you to think about you. Even though I'm scared, I'm going to do this year. Even though I'm not there yet, I will be able to go towards their dream. I will not be scared or afraid of the unknown because I don't know the unknown. So what is there to be afraid of? And I wanted to do this episode in the beginning of the year because by the time you're going to watch this episode, by the time you're going to listen to this episode, a lot of people already will quit on their New Year's resolutions. A lot of people already will go back to their old self. A lot of people will go back to their old habits. Why? Because it's freaking difficult. It's difficult because they didn't last long enough. They didn't last long enough to push through, to push forward. And I'm going to give you exactly steps, clear steps on what you need to do today to change the 2024. And make sure that you have a pen and paper, write those down, because once you write them down, you need to have your own examples that you put in these sentences, okay? I'm going to give you my own examples, my own life situations, real life, but you have to apply your own life to this. And I guarantee you, once you're going to do this, you're going to start seeing the results. So we need to take ownership of where we are right now and not overthink it. Just go for it. So number one, in order for you to change 2024 and go towards that big dream, that passion, that desire, is work in the field of your interest. And what I mean by that, I've been observing a couple of the people that I love dearly in the past few years. And what I see is that they have amazing talents. What I see, they have something that no one else knows how to do it. And by the way, did you know that in a room of 10,000 people, even your neighborhood, you will be probably only one that can do a specific thing better than any other person? Did you know that this is such a high ratio? And I hope that this will just open up your mind a little bit. That if I think that in the area where I live, I am the best coach out of 10,000 people. I am the best trainer out of the area where I live. This gives me some motivation. This gives me something to look towards. And I want you to think like this. Why you need to work in your field? Because a lot of times you might be passionate about something. You might love something and you work in the wrong field. You choose jobs, you jump from thing to thing, from job to job. You're doing all these different things to distract you and to almost like you try to fulfill the void, to forget that you have a talent because you're so scared of going for what's really worth and what's meant for you. For going for what your calling and the universe is giving you, what the God is giving you, whoever you believe is there giving you this on the plate, but you are so full of fear that you're not going for it. So you're jumping from job to job. You're doing all these tedious things because you're scared. So please, this year, work in your field, because that's what I've been seeing. These people have these talents and they just grab these jobs and they can't sustain the job. They can't keep the job. And the reason for it is because they don't love the job. It's not their calling. It's not their passion. It's not their fulfillment. But the moment you align yourself with your calling, it's like the magic happens. The world opens up a different level, different dimension to you, different energy. You start connecting with people that you're supposed to. I'm not saying that everything is a flow. It will be a flow. It takes time to get the flow, but you will start seeing a different dynamic of your life. You start seeing being happy. You start seeing being more fulfilled. You start seeing things that normally you wouldn't see, because that's the fulfillment from the inside out. So that's why rule number 1 is working in your field. It's not just observation of the people. When I was in America, when I came to America, I was the one doing all these jobs just to make money. It didn't click for a long time that I cannot just do these jobs. It took me to get a job that caused me to being depressed, to get epiphany. Literally, it was like somebody hit me with a metal hammer and put a bucket of a really ice cold water to tell me, girl, wake up. What are you doing? You have a talent. You've been doing this in Poland, and then you stop because you were doing it. You stop. You were not convinced. You finished 5 years of physical education and you still didn't do it. What is it? Wake the hell up. Why are you doing all these jobs that are not fulfilling you? Why are you grabbing jobs that it's not for you? That's what it was. And I'm not going to even be calling exactly what I was doing, but I was doing a variety of things. And one job particularly, working in some department store, caused me being so freaking unhappy. Going into this job caused me literally my stomach turning. I hated everything. I hated parking lot. I hated walking in there. I hated the place that was holding, I would have to hold my clothes in. I hated the breaks. I got to the point that I heard the word in my head, hate, 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 hate. And finally I said, enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going into what meant for me. Now, if I only imagine, if I didn't go for what was meant for me, I would have had successful business in New York. We would have been voted America's top trainers. I would have met amazing people on the way. I would have not ended up being in America. I mean, the world, not even America, in California, the ball effect, you know, that the snowball effect, it's just something when you start thinking about it, it's almost scary. But you will never probably experience this if you're not going to get in alignment this year with what you meant to do. This might be painful for you. You might be feeling it like it's uncomfortable what you're hearing right now. But until you get aligned with your life's mission, you will not feel happy. You will not. And you will be losing jobs and you will be starting jobs and you will feel always like you're starting from zero. I'm thinking about somebody right now that doesn't even live in America, somewhere far away, and he can't hold a job because instead of diving deep into his talents, what he loves to do, he's so scared of doing this. He's so scared of being great. Why are you so scared of being great? Because you're comparing yourself to others that already have millions of followers? Who cares? Start with yourself. Start leading yourself. Once you start leading yourself, you can lead others. That's the basic thing that you need to do. So, guys, working in the field, when I got the epiphany and I started working in the field, I had multiple gyms job. I was working in multiple locations. I was doing so many different boot camps, program in so many gyms, but I was working in the field. And that's what made me happy. And then came the level that this was no longer fulfilling me. Meaning the job was fulfilling me as itself. I loved coaching people. I loved helping them. I loved movement. But the way my work was going, it wasn't fulfilling me. I wasn't meant to be working for someone. I was meant to be an entrepreneur. I was meant to create. I was meant to start my own business. So after working in the field, and number 2, let's not skip this, learning from others who have done it before you. So I worked in the field. I worked for other gyms. I learned how the gyms run the gym, the business, right? I worked for private gyms. I worked for, when I think about it, really was more private gyms. I really never worked for a commercial gym. No, never. So we were private gyms. I was able to see, what do I need in my own gym? What has been missing? This gave me a great 3D feeling. Like, what do they have? What they don't have? What will I have that they don't have? And this is how we open up our gyms. So you need to work for someone to see. So right now, we already established that you need to work in your life of business. So find something that interests you. If this is something that you can do forever and you never feel like quitting, you can spend hours and hours of doing it. This is your job. This is your calling. This is something that you should not go lightly about. It should be something that empowering you to make that action. You need to work for someone else. And why I'm saying this? Because sometimes we wanted to jump and work for ourselves immediately, but because working on your own immediately, if you are not strong enough to face the obstacle, if you're not strong enough that you will cross them over, it might squish you and crush you, because it's going to be an overwhelm of stuff. You will not know what to do. But think about it. If you wanted to start an interior designing business, how about working in the field of interior designing? How about working for someone that already has an established business? You can be an assistant and you can learn the job from the inside out. How they book the appointments. Do you need to come and do a free estimate? Do you need to pay for the appointment? What are you showing up with? What are the prices? Like everything. Think about it. If you want to start a coaching business, like you want to be a trainer, how about obviously passing the exams, going and working for gyms, choosing the gyms that you want to work on? Maybe not necessarily you want to work for a commercial gym, but maybe you want to work for a private gym, seeing how they run the classes, how is the system of operations, what are they doing, how they greeting the clients, what are they doing before and after the gym, how they closing, how they clean, everything. So it gives you perception of it all, 360-degree view. And think about it. I'm not saying that you need to work forever. You can give yourself 3 months. You can give yourself 6 months. You can give yourself 12 months. I had a client just recently that was in commercial business, and she was working for a commercial real estate, and she decided she wants to do it herself. But she went through this, she went through the process. She knew exactly what she needs to do, but it's still, even though she worked for someone, there were still so many surprises for her to start the business. So don't think that just because you're going through everything, it's you have it all, you have the whole plan. There will be also situations that you never faced. So be prepared for it, but you at least will have that cushion. You at least will feel more comfortable, right? So hire a coach. This is kind of the same. Like if you learn from others who have done it before you, hiring a coach. So if you have a coach, somebody that's been through these problems, obstacle, chaos, whatever else you want to name it, it's time collapsing. This person will give you some tools that you can jump over. You can leap forward from A, maybe not to Z, but maybe A to F. You're going to do that jump. You're going to collapse the time. You're going to kind of have it all in there in one chunk. Number 3, do the work yourself. When I was coach working for all these businesses, I was doing the job. Obviously, I was coaching clients. But then when we open up our business, bootcamp and boxing locations in New York, first we started in Spring Valley. We were working for ourselves. It was just me and Steve. There was nobody else, me and my husband. There was no one else. And guys, working for yourself, this phase has subphases. And why this phase is so important? Because this is the phase that your life depends on. In this phase, the good, the bad, the nasty, the awful, the amazing, the incredible will happen. That's where the change will happen. This is the pot that you start cooking for yourself. Let's put it this way. This is the recipe that you start cooking for yourself. And this is the time when you're going to be thinking and feeling and putting all these spices and adding all these different things. And you're going to see how the soup will come out. You're going to be cook this thing to perfection. Even though the perfect doesn't exist. But this is the pot of the stuff that will determine either you're going to complete something or you're going to quit. You're going to go forward. You're going to climb that mountain of your calling and you're going to get to the top and you're going to see the beautiful view, or you're going to quit. This is the phase right here because you are working for yourself. Everything depends on you. I mean, when we had our gyms, not only we were coaching clients, we were scheduling, we were creating sessions, we were cleaning the toilets in our gym. I was pregnant with my kids. Doing everything and anything. So that's why I said this phase, working for yourself, can be fun and overwhelming. And I cannot tell you when you're going to get to this phase. This phase can be a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. Some people will take longer. It depends how brave you are. But this phase is necessary for you to work for yourself to really see the big picture. Working for someone else, yes, it's amazing. We have clients that make shitload of money, make amazing money, but they still have to respond to someone else. And they have a hard time even taking breaks from work because the job is demanding. So there are pros and cons, so you got to figure out on your own. But in this phase, you can start part-time. Think about it. You can work for someone else and start this phase for working for yourself, doing just a part-time job. You don't need to quit, but you can start doing this maybe on the weekends and doing this extra so you can create eventually full-time. The next big thing on your schedule. That's what it is. The next big thing. Like you can put half an hour every single day to do something that you will create eventually a separate business out of it. So we were just the trainers. Then we had to learn the marketing. I mean, we had to do it everything. Then we start hiring. But let's go back to this phase. So what else is in this phase? In this phase, we have learning, number A. Number B, it's grind, extra hustle, going extra mile. Number C is pain. Pain, meaning you're going to experience hardships. You're going to experience uncomfortable. You're going to experience feeling like you almost wanted to quit. When I was pregnant, I was coming there. I was getting up at 4 a.m. to go and teach sessions sometimes and leaving the job at 8 p.m. I remember this like today. Going to the park with our dog, Tyson dog, me and Steve, and letting the dog run around through the snow in the summer. I mean, freaking pregnant. And did I have moments of like, what on earth? Why do I need to do such a hard things? Why do I need to suffer so much? Why do I need to do it? I was questioning myself all the time. But because I have such a determination, because I am a person that doesn't quit, I continue doing what I was supposed to do. But was I questioning myself? Hell yeah, it was so freaking difficult, guys. So many times being sick and pregnant, coming to the gym, and it was like a love-hate relationship. So the pain is necessary. The pain is weakness leaving the body, right? That's a famous saying. And D, asking yourself, can I make it? Because sometimes you are in this moment, and we were in this moment for a long, long time. And at one point, I was like, can we make it? Can we can I see the future? Can I see a bigger picture? So you see how much the phase is deep. You got to dive deep. You got to really think this through and be prepared. If you want to grind, you got to grind. 4, laser beam focus. We were concentrating on one thing, but after a coach told us, guys, you guys are trainers, marketers. Yes, it's all great. Now you want to create an equipment, because we had an idea of creating freaking different equipment. It's funny because then we looked later and out of nowhere, somebody else had the same idea and they launched the product. It's freaking crazy how 2 people can have the same idea. More, I don't know. But it's true. So stop sitting on your ideas, do them, because if you sit, somebody else might have the same idea and you might end up not launching what you wanted to do. 5, create systems. So as we're going through running these gyms until this day, we create different systems. You have to create system of operations. So you've been going through, and gym is perfect example. We've been trainers, then we create a system of operations, how we wanted the classes to be run, how the classes should be run, how you should greet the guest, how you should open up the gym, how you should close the gym. Systems of operations, you need to have them because you can't delegate further. 6, hire. Start hiring, guys. So you see, you have to go through this process to get to number 6. You need to start hiring, but you can't start hiring without the process. 7, delegation. You need to delegate after when you have the systems, after you've done your own hard work. You've been through the trenches. You know how to do it. You know how to lead. You know what needs to be done. So now you can delegate someone else to do it. Look how easy it is because you've done it. You actually record it. You can record Zoom how things are done. You can write it down in Google Drive documents how this stuff is being done. So the person can watch the video and start doing the stuff that you used to be doing. That's how we hired our coaches. So when I ended up from being a coach, then literally working outside on a business, getting sponsors, getting connections. I mean, I was the one that made the most incredible connections for this gym outside from the area. We had sponsors. I mean, you name it. You would have to go back and see how we run our gym. But it came to the point that I was coaching trainers. I was teaching them for them to be a copy of us. And this was based on systems. The way how I was meeting with them and coaching them, what I had to cover with them. We had a literally university of peak physique, so people would follow. But we had to spend the time to do that. Number 8, make it even bigger. Yeah, there's always room to grow, guys. You don't need to settle for what you have. You can make it bigger. It's up to you how far you want to go. So ask yourself a question. How? Really? Do I want to go far, and how far? And what is this vision for me? Because as a leader, you need to have a vision. You are the visionary one. And the other people will be helping you go along the way. And how big? What is that? What is the big, huge idea that you have in your head when you're going to take your business? Number 9, change your position. That's when you no longer are working within this place. Like we were no longer training. We were doing other things. We hired people so they will replace us. And this is the basics. This is, I think that's what I show you right now. This is what you can find yourself doing. You can give yourself months. Look, it's like 9 points. Could we get more points? Probably. Maybe if I would be doing this session again, I probably could find even more points. But right now, let's put it 9. So if you have 12 months, you can actually achieve that if you want to in 9 months. If you want to, in 12 months. If you want to. It's up to you. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching the show. I hope I gave you some good content. So please like, share, subscribe to these episodes, make comments, because believe it or not, but this raised the ratings for me. And you can watch and listen to this show on Spotify. You can also find me on YouTube if you prefer the YouTube channel. And just remember that the superhero is within you. You just need to rediscover it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. No excuses. Welcome to a new episode. Ivanka, stop, because it's so crooked. I think my head is